Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan and I'll be your pilot tonight. Boys and girls, it's been a long start to the season already. I'm not a real big fan of the sugar we got to watch on Thursday. It's kind of exciting to watch Sam's run. Aside from that, we stink. We're absolutely terrible. Ed, RTW, Gigi, Kelly, Steven, Lame Cactus, Mitt, Joe S, Clicks Builds, Jets Mess. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's do our shout outs first. Down in the lower right hand corner, you're going to see a promo code, mybookie.ag. If you want to win some money in a season that is otherwise lost, make sure you head to mybookie.ag. Use promo code JT. They'll match your initial offer up to $1,000. So if you want to win some money, want to gamble with me in a season that's otherwise lost, use promo code JT at mybookie.ag, and they will set you up matching that initial deposit. So guys, we have a lot to talk about. We're going to go over our question of the day and just what it means. Are we going to tank for Trevor? I'm sure that's going to be a hot topic on everyone's mind. We're going to do the same way we do it every week. I'll start doing phone call questions at 8:30. If you would like your shot to win the Just End the Suffering shirt, I'm going to be giving one of those away at the end of the show. I got a cool new thing that we're going to be doing. If you look down in the description, you'll see a thing that says question of the day. Click on that. It's going to bring you to an app called Flick Chat. It's something that allows us to have a little bit more of a discussion outside of the YouTube sphere. YouTube is great for video content, but to have an actual dialogue with people, it's a little bit harder. So if you want to go into a little bit more of a deeper dive into some of the questions or some of the different aspects that we go over, this is a great forum for all of us to use. O'Leary's on it. I'm on it. Green Bean should be on it shortly. I sent him over the link. I only started this thing up today, so I think we got like 10 members already. It doesn't cost you anything. Just where I'm going to push people to start doing this question of the day. So there's a poll on that question of the day link down in the description down below. Click on that poll and just vote. Should the Jets tank for Trevor Lawrence? All you have to do is vote in that poll, and you'll be entered to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the store, or a Just End the Suffering t-shirt, because we stink. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about what we saw on Thursday. My reactions as I've had time to kind of marinate. And I'm sort of torn. I'm in a weird spot right now because I've always believed in Sam Darnold. There's aspects of his game that I find absolutely incredible. But then there's other aspects like the decision making or the gun shyness, the not pulling the trigger on certain throws that I think he should do. I know Robbie Sabo had a great video breakdown on that with, I believe it was Cager cutting across the middle. He was wide open. They mentioned it during the broadcast too. And Sam, for whatever reason, just didn't pull the trigger, and he wound up getting thrown down on his shoulder, which now we find out is, I believe it's an AC joint. Is that what's hurt? I think that's what it was. So he's questionable for this game coming up this week. We have a whole bunch to talk about. Do you want to talk about Sam Darnold? Do you want to talk about Adam Gase? I can rant about either one of them. For me, Adam Gase not getting fired after this game is so frustrating for me, and it leads me to believe that Douglas is okay with the tank. I think what we saw from this team, they just come out unmotivated, undisciplined. The amount of personal fouls we had. Personal fouls generally happen when you're a step too slow and you're getting frustrated and you're just like, trying to take some energy out. There is no reason for cheap shots in this game at all. It's already a violent sport. You just got to be better than the guy in front of you. So that's an issue. I see some of you guys talking about Bill O'Brien getting fired. I was shocked O'Brien got fired prior to Adam Gase. Now, I will say this. I do think the Houston Texans are significantly better. He should have been fired after he got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. Let's be serious. That was an ugly decision. They are 0-4. As it stands right now, the Jets would be picking third, or we'll say second right now, because the Falcons haven't played yet, or are about to play, or whatever. The Jets have the hardest strength of schedule right now of the teams that could be picking. Actually, aside from Houston, Houston's got the hardest strength of schedule. But if you're looking at teams that theoretically could really have the first pick, I don't see Houston as being that team. I think they're too good. I think they're going to win some games. Atlanta's the same way. I think they're too good. I think they're going to win some games. The Jets and Giants are really the two teams that I'm kind of looking at, and I'm like, these teams kind of stink. And the Giants have a significantly weaker strength of schedule. So the Jets are going to have to outright lose more games than the Giants if they want to win that number 1 overall pick. Now, why would we want that first pick? We were so invested in Sam. We spent so much to go get him. Joe Douglas did not draft Sam. The rookie contract is so valuable. We're going into his 4th year after this season. Chances are, we may not have a full evaluation of Sam, and that's not necessarily a huge knock on Sam. I think we could trade him, or he could go to another team, and I could see him being very successful. Him under Sean Payton, I think he would be fantastic. That's actually where I hope he goes if the Jets decide not to keep him. But if you think about this after the season, and Adam Gase gets fired, the Jets have $80 million in cap space. The Jets end up having more money than pretty much every other team. You have a ton of draft picks and a ton of draft capital. And then you have a new head coach coming in. We're going to be a very attractive landing spot. Who could potentially fill that void? And that's me assuming that Adam Gase is gone. Adam Gase has got to be gone. You can't hold on to Adam Gase. I saw, if you guys didn't check out O'Leary's message to Chris Johnson, you should check that out because it was pretty funny. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was exactly how I feel as a Jet fan. Absolutely down to a T. This fan base, this franchise deserves so much better than what the Jets have gotten, or that of what we have gotten out of our Jets the last 10 years. Aside from the 2015 season with Bowles when he came in here and he had the one-hit wonder with Decker, with Fitzpatrick, with Marshall, Chris Ivory, all these different players, caught lightning in a bottle towards the end of their careers. But man, the last 10 years has been pretty sad if you're a New York Jet fan. So we got that. We can talk about the head coach. We can talk about the GM. There's a lot of similarities. Between John Idzik and Joe Douglas. There's a few differences as well. And I've talked about this before on the show. Joe Douglas and John Idzik, they both traded away their best defensive player for first-round picks. Tons of draft picks in their first few drafts. They inherit a head coach, Rex Ryan, Adam Gase. Now, Adam Gase had a hand in hiring Joe Douglas, so maybe you say that's slightly different. They don't invest into offensive weapons. You get the tackle, which was a must anyway. You don't invest free agent money. You decide to go the cheap route in free agency. So one could say that Joe Douglas and John Idzik both set up their respective head coaches for failure. And in the process, Sam is stuck in the crossfires. Now, there are issues with Sam's game. There are throws he's just not making. There are throws he is just missing. So I cannot exonerate him of all blame here, as much as I would like to. Because I've been on the show and I've said, hey, I believe Sam Darnold, if he plays a full 16 games, he can break our passing records. And that's, honestly, I do believe that. Now, not when he's playing with a 4th, 5th, 6th string wide receiver, but we'll see. Now, we look forward to the Cardinals. The Jets should be getting Denzel Mims, Rashad Perriman. I believe Le'Veon Bell. Is Bell on that list, or is Bell out one more week? Bell might be out one more week. Jets should be getting some of their weapons back. Whether that's Flacco playing or Sam Darnold. I could see Sam sitting a game. It might benefit Sam to sit a game and just kind of like relax. Just see where this goes. Get Rex Ryan back, says Josh Baker. I love me some Rex. But no, I don't want Rex back. NY Sports MC. Where was I last night? I had work. I was at work last night. I was working at the Bear. Oh. Jets 6, Cardinals 3. The Jets, when I look at this game coming up, and I look at the Cardinals, I see no way the Jets winning this game. Kyler Murray is the perfect type of quarterback to just rip us apart, which seems like basically any quarterback with a pulse at this point should be good enough to knock us around. But that running style quarterback, no bueno. Not a fan. Not a fan. Kelly McTavish says, good players can't overcome bad coaching or bad rosters. That's going to be an issue. Another issue with Sam is we want to see him elevate a roster. Now, we are giving him these scraps. I think he is in the worst situation of any quarterback in the NFL, both from a coaching and talent perspective. But the issue here is his contract. He's going to be going into his 4th year. This is where we are going to have to decide on his 5th year option. That's a $25 million bonus. Are we paying Sam Darnold $25 million based on what we've seen so far? That is a hard thing to ask. Is a very hard thing to ask, especially when you have a new head coach. Do you want your new head coach handcuffed to a player that might only have 1 year when you could potentially have the number 1 overall pick? And then you can reset the clock and you can build this the right way. You have the left tackle, ironclad, locked in. Becton is the guy. Or are you on the fence? Do you want to trade out of that number 1 pick and try to get some assets to surround Sam? For me, if the Jets end up with the first pick, I think you have to take Lawrence. As much as it pains me to say that. And I am a big Sam Darnold fan. I'm a real big Sam Darnold fan. I don't know if you could pass up on that rookie contract. That's really the issue. Especially if you're getting rid of the head coach. There's no reason to have Sam with a 3rd head coach on your roster, under a 3rd offensive coordinator. I really feel bad for Sam because the Jets wronged Sam. They really did. They did him dirty. But that's not Joe Douglas's fault right now. It's got to be about moving forward and making this team better. I'm a Jets fan first and foremost. I'm a big Sam Darnold fan, but I'm a Jets fan first and foremost. I want to see us win. And if they think that Trevor Lawrence is the guy, then that might have to be the selection. Now, I don't know if any of you guys saw Jordan Palmer, Carson Palmer's brother, the quarterback coach, came out and said he would take Sam over Trevor Lawrence. Now, of course, that helps that Sam Darnold is paying him to be his quarterback whisperer. So, little grain of salt there. Now, he did throw a little bit of shade towards the Jets, saying he's in a very bad coaching and roster situation, which I think anyone could really sort of say that. But is Sam the guy? Is Sam the guy is really the tough question I think we got to try and figure out. V-Man, thank you for the super chat. He says, difference. Joe D has a scouting background. Idzik didn't. Last thing this team needs is a retread head coach. I want Chiefs offensive coordinator. Andy Reid assistants are proven. Eric Bieniemy is an interesting candidate for our next head coach. He's going to be a very popular name because of what happened with Patrick Mahomes coming from the Andy Reid coaching tree. There's a lot of things to like about Bieniemy. He's got a few, I don't want to say skeletons in his closet, but he's got a lot of weird sort of problems that he had as an assistant head coach. And if you look into it a little bit, I think that might be why he hasn't gotten a shot, along with Andy Reid also calling the plays. I think that shouldn't be overlooked. I don't think if you don't have experience calling plays, there's a reason why he's been passed over. I don't think it's I don't know it's necessarily that people don't like him, but I think there's certain aspects about him that people don't like. There's a few guys that I'm kind of eyeballing right now. Greg Roman's atop my list. Same with the Bills guy. Is it Dabble? If we get him, just made Josh Allen look pretty good. There's a lot of potential. This team needs to have a new face to this franchise. At the very least, a new guy that doesn't look crazy. The fact that we had Adam Gase, basically what looked like high out of his mind on his introductory press conference, that should have been the PR team should be time out. Let's get rid of this guy. Let's can him. We made a mistake. We sent in the wrong paperwork. Didn't mean to pick Gase. Nope. Dable. There you go. That's what I was trying to pronounce. Bills fans really like him. They say they don't want to see him leave, from what I've seen. FM says Douglas loves Gase. I hope not. I'd be pretty upset. If we draft another quarterback and Adam Gase is the guy that's leading him, ugh. Ugh. Talk about upsetting. I don't understand why Adam Gase is still the head coach of this football team. They come out unmotivated, undisciplined. I can't even give Greg Williams any credit anymore. This defense looks bad. I know you lost Jamal Adams. I know you lost C.J. Mosley. But you cannot let a third string, undrafted, second-year quarterback do what he did to you on Thursday Night Football. Unreal. Unreal. Jets should not have that happen to them. No pro team should have that kind of beating done to them. They were missing a ton of players, too. You're missing two of your top wide receivers, your running back and Phillip Lindsay. I think it was 2 offensive linemen. No excuse. I'm pretty sure the Jets have another primetime game, if I'm not mistaken, too. Talk about us getting thumped and embarrassed on national TV. Someone's got to do something different. Or is Joe Douglas just fully committed to the tank and he's just like, no, I'm sticking by my guy Gase because he's going to get us the #1 overall pick. Let's hope. Let's hope that's what it is. All right. What are you guys talking about? Oh, man, you guys are fired up about Adam Gase in the chat. Did you guys see the picture of Jamal Adams? Let me know if you guys saw that. For those of you that don't know, Jamal Adams took a picture of him with his hands behind his back crossed, standing, and I guess between his legs was a joint rolled up, and he deleted it. He pulled it off Instagram, and then reposted it without it. But the internet is too good. They caught it. They saw it. And they were like, Jamal Adams likes just smoking the weed. Now, he is in Washington. It's legal for recreational purposes out there. And honestly, I don't have any problem with players doing that anyway. I think there's a lot of opioid addiction in this world right now. And if a plant... Well, I guess opium's from a plant. If pot can help you, not be addicted to painkillers, I'm all for it. These guys put their bodies on the line all the time. For the love of God, just let the guy hit some of the devil's lettuce. Just let it happen. It's okay. UFC, I keep saying UFC Jaguar. UCF Jaguar. What's up, brother? He says, let Trevor slide to the Jags. Sorry, dude, not happening. If the Jets have the opportunity, Trevor's going number 1. And he's going to the Jets or Giants. I think these are easily the 2 worst teams in the NFL. Both facing a weird conundrum. Now, the Jets maybe a little bit more so than the Giants, being that Sam's 1 year older than Danny Dimes. Don't you guys like your Minshew mania? Don't you like your mustache down there? I don't think you got any reason to be going for Trevor Lawrence. You guys got your guy. Got your guy. Kelly says, is it legal in New York? It is not. I shouldn't say I'm from Jersey. I'm from New York. I'm living in Jersey right now. It's on the ballot for this election to legalize in New Jersey. Fingers crossed. They were talking about, with all the unemployment that had to be given out, maybe they need to earn some new tax revenue. And that is a new revenue stream for the state. So I think it's going to pass. That's my gut feeling. But it's been on the ballot the last few years and it hasn't passed. So who knows? Who knows? You guys saying you love Minshew mania? Where are we going with this? Not firing Gase. Yeah, man, this is frustrating. Who would I want? If I'm saying who I want Greg Roman. I think there's the connection with Joe Douglas. You have a successful guy who built an offense around Lamar Jackson, Colin Kaepernick, Tyrod Taylor, all running style quarterbacks. Alex Smith is a mobile quarterback, more of a pocket passer, but is a very mobile quarterback still nonetheless. He was able to build successful offenses around them. Can he do that around Sam or around Trevor Lawrence or whoever our quarterback is going to be? That's who you want. You want some guy that can build around your strengths, and Adam Gase just is not that guy. He is not using the strengths of this team, or maybe we are just so bad that we just don't have the talent to have any sort of good team. Certainly possible. Certainly possible. Ugh, guys, frustrated. Really frustrated with this team. It's so hard to watch. I just want to watch a team that I could turn on and at least be semi-satisfied with the product on the field. And I feel like I have a lot of days that I could be going through that are significantly, I don't want to say significantly more important, but I feel like I could be doing way more things with my time than crying on a couch for the amount of time I have to cry. Shamik Scheider, thank you for the super chat. He says, if we did move on from Sam, would you hate the idea of a vet quarterback? I think it's just our organization. We ruin young quarterbacks. A good vet, though, like Ryan or Stafford, it's unlikely, but every 2 year we have our guy. Every 2 years we have our guy. All right, so vet quarterback. If you were to get a Stafford or a Matt Ryan, I don't think I'd do it. Honestly, I don't think I'd do it. I think there is more value in keeping Sam and trying to build around him than bringing in a veteran guy. The only way I'm going forward without Sam is if I'm getting Trevor Lawrence, I think. Unless you believe Justin Fields or one of the other top quarterbacks in this class are better than Sam, then I understand. What could you get for Sam? That's a big question we're going to have to answer. What do you pull the trigger on? Is it just to get him out? I don't know. I don't know. What does a team offer for him? Is it a third-round pick? Is it even worth a third-round pick? Can you get a second-round pick from maybe the Saints, the Steelers, the Colts, a team like that, a team with an old quarterback looking to potentially find that new guy? I would love to see Sam with the Saints. That's my hope, is where I'd hope he'd go. I don't know. It's going to be tough. We could see a situation where he's either traded on draft day, depending on how much you get for him, or do you see a situation where you go into the season, maybe not the season, but you go into preseason at the least, Kind of like how we did with Teddy Bridgewater. And you let him play well. You put him in situations that can make him look a lot better than maybe you otherwise would have seen him. Now, if that's the case, do you get more for him? Do you wait for a quarterback to get injured? I don't know. Is it awkward? Is it weird that Sam Darnold is just, on the roster with a Trevor Lawrence or a Justin Fields? Be weird. I think it would be weird. Joe S. says Trevor Lawrence will never play for Gase. This is something that I think people are going to talk about. I think Trevor Lawrence is coming out. He's got 40 million reasons to come out right now. The only quarterbacks that don't play for their teams are the Manning family. It's Eli, it's Peyton. You don't really see any other guy do that. So I think Trevor Lawrence is coming out. I think he's going to play for whoever drafts him. Now, I would very much not want him to come here. Well, I want him to come here, but I don't want him to have Gase as his head coach. I'm sure he doesn't want that. Daniel Churin. Too many building years. Gas out Gase and figure the team out. That's just it. There is too much. We've put too much into this whole Adam Gase thing. We've had a year and a half. I've seen my year and a half. I don't need to worry. I don't need to wonder if Adam Gase is good at this point. He's made too many questionable decisions. I don't see the brilliant mind. It does not add up to me. Joe Licata, thank you for the super chat. He says, Trevor won't make us a Super Bowl team. Trade the pick. Pay Darnold and build around him with talented young guys and smart free agent pickups. That's my gut feeling on what I want to do. The tough thing is if you get that first overall pick. We have to decide, is Sam broken? Is Sam shell-shocked? Is he actually hearing those footsteps when they're not there? Hearing ghosts, if you will. Or seeing ghosts. Is he able to come back? How many quarterbacks after their first 3 years in the league really rebound and play well? There's not many. Sam makes me nervous. I like Sam a lot. I'm a big Sam Darnold fan. But I understand the rationale if you want to go with Trevor. Now, if you could trade out and you get a haul of picks, I'm all about it. If you could stay in the top 10, top 5, and get a blue chip player like an edge rusher, maybe that bookend right tackle, kid from Oregon, or the edge rusher, wide receiver. There's a lot of guys. There's going to be like 5 guys in the top part of this draft the Jets could really use. One of them being Trevor Lawrence. Potentially. Shamik, thank you for the super chat again. He says, would you do Brissett and a second or third? He is only 27 for Sam. Just asking. Man, Brissett doesn't really get me excited, I'll be honest. Now, if I'm getting a second round pick and Brissett, now maybe that just means I'm still drafting a quarterback high and just gives me Brissett as my backup. But man, I don't know. That's tough. I don't think Brissett's gonna be the guy. I wouldn't want that. I'd like to trade him out of conference, which leads me to believe either the Bears or the Saints are potential options. Bears are gonna have a better pick, probably in the end of everything. I think the Saints are pretty good. Who knows? Guys, make sure you hit that like button. We got 41 likes. I don't know why my little view counter is not working. My little view counter says we got 0 people in here. I know that's not true. We got 128 people. Make sure you hit that like button. Guys, if you want your shot to win a Just End the Suffering shirt, down below in the description, you are going to see a link. It's the third thing down. It says question of the day. Click on that, and all you have to do is go to the poll section right there. There's a little poll at the top of the page. It says, should the Jets tank for Trevor? All you have to do is just vote yes or no. Vote yes or no on that. At the end of the show, I'm going to pick someone to win a hat, shirt, or mug, or just a Just End the Suffering shirt. And we're going to try and figure that out. We're going to try and figure it out together. But make sure you join that. The cool thing about Flick Chat, which is the spot that you're going to answer this question today, or to do this poll question. It's really neat because it gives you in-game scoring. So we can actually talk about this game and everything that's going on in real time. I'll be on there talking all these different things. There's a ton of actual questions and topics. We could talk draft stuff. It's really cool. Check it out. Definitely recommend it. Shamik, just to be clear, I like Sam. I was all about a 6-10 record and falling into Jamar Chase. Sucks it came to this. You and me both, brother. I wasn't necessarily for Jamar Chase at the top of the draft. I was really looking for an edge rusher. I was hoping Mims would show me something, Perriman would show me something, but I'm 100% behind a Jamar Chase pick. I think this is a year where you could take a wide receiver really high if you want to try and help your young quarterback. And then edge rusher, you just kind of figure it out. You go through your evaluation process. You really can't go wrong with either one. But I think I would invest every single pick into our offense just to give us a fighting chance. I don't know. We'll see. Jamie asks, is Sam playing in Mims' debut? I don't know. We're not sure if we're getting Sam this week or if we're getting Joe Flacco. Who knows? We'll know more on Wednesday. Wednesday's really when all this sort of shakes down. You guys are saying call-ins. All right, I'm going to throw the phone number up on the screen. Let's open up the Google Voice, and we'll start taking some call-in questions. I'm hopeful in the next 2 months or so, I may be moving. We'll see. And potentially having a studio and not just a living room in the background. So fingers crossed in the upcoming months. We'll have a backdrop here.
Eli.
Hey, what's good, Eli? How you doing tonight?
Hey, Ryan. I'm doing good. How about you?
Dude, I'm frustrated. I'm sick of seeing these Jets lose week in and week out, and in the fashion that they're losing, too. They just seem inept every week.
I was happy because I think that really helps us out get the first overall pick. Because I'm a really big Trevor Lawrence fan. And I'm not really a Sam Darnold fan.
Sure.
So I think that gets us a step closer to Trevor Lawrence.
I think it definitely does. Now, Sam, it felt like Sam was angry at what happened week 3 with the Colts, and he wanted to put the team on his back. Now, he missed throws. He didn't hit guys that were open. But then there were other players that's like, wow, like, what can he do? Like, what's he doing here? Now, I don't remember the exact statistics, but there was I was reading somewhere. So if you consider Jeff Smith and Crowder NFL caliber receivers, and you figure just everyone else is kind of below the bar, Sam was 11 of 14 with 160 yards when targeting those two guys. Everyone else, it was like terrible completion percentage and 29 yards. It was like absolutely atrocious. So does Sam just need NFL caliber wide receivers around him? I think when we get Mims and we get Perriman back, I think there's a shot that this team looks better. I really do.
I want to put this into perspective. He played the Denver Broncos backups. I mean,
yes,
they were like all injured. They're in the same situation as us, and he could not score a passing touchdown. You're telling me a third overall pick with Jeff Smith and Jamison Crowder, we're actually getting open a lot. You're telling me you can't throw a passing touchdown?
Sure. Yeah, no, I get it. I'm frustrated with Sam. I am. It was ugly. It was really ugly. He held on to the ball too long. He took too many sacks. We put ourselves in bad situations with penalties. I don't know what's going on with this team. This team seems uninspired.
What I do is, if I'm the general manager and I get the first overall pick, I take Trevor Lawrence. But what I do is I have them battle, and I'll probably favor Sam Darnold, and I'll have him start. If he looks poor, you put in Trevor Lawrence, and then you either release him after that year, but like don't pick up his fifth-year option, or trade him because his contract gets too much money, and you're not going to pay him. So I say you give him one more year, do draft Trevor Lawrence, and you start Sam Darnold, and if he looks poorly, he's done. You throw in Trevor Lawrence.
Now I think you have to decide on your fifth-year option, like this offseason for Sam Darnold. I'm pretty sure it's like in February or something like that, or March. At the beginning of the season, is when you
I think it
have
was
to
before
decide.
Yeah, it was before. Yeah,
It's
something
definitely
like that.
before the draft. So the Jets are going to have to make this call. It's hard to justify. I don't know how you could justify this. Does it make more sense to roll into a season 4 with Sam without the 5th-year option? Now, if the Jets don't get the first pick, is it a moot point? Do you roll with Sam then and you don't take Justin Fields? Like, do you believe Justin Fields could potentially be the next quarterback? Or is it just Trevor Lawrence?
I'm a Buckeyes fan, but I think Justin Fields is just a system QB. Like, look at Dwayne Haskins. Ohio State QBs have generally not really made it in the NFL because it's such a good system. Like, they just look at Dwayne Haskins. He was so dominant in college, and then the second he went to the NFL, yes, he's on the Washington football team, but still, he threw 3 picks against the Browns. So, I mean, I think Ohio State makes their QBs look better than they really are.
Yeah, and when I watch Justin Fields' highlight tape, he's thrown to wide open guys all the time. There's like no competition in like any of the highlights. Now it's not like I watch every snap from him, so I can't go everything in and out, because there's some people that I've heard saying that Justin Fields is the quarterback that the NFL is trending towards, which for me it's definitely Trevor Lawrence and him. I think you can put both of them in that category. Trevor Lawrence is a really interesting prospect. He's got the arm, the deep ball accuracy. He's got more of the pedigree than Sam has. Remember, Sam was a linebacker before he got to college. He played 1 year of quarterback in high school. So it's not like he was groomed from a young age. His teams at USC were injured. He had the turnover mistakes, and that just seemed to carry over into his NFL career. Whether you believe the Jets ruined him or not, I don't know.
Well, I think he's done. So I think you should trade him to a team who can contend. And like you said, the Bears, I don't think the Bears trade for him because they have Big Richard Nick Foles out there. I mean, why would they want Sam Darnold?
You're out of here! Eli, you have been ejected from the cockpit. Thank you so much for calling in. I look forward to talking to you again either tonight or another day. Either one. Guys, phone calls. Phone lines are now open. If you guys want your shot to win a Just End the Suffering shirt, head down to the link in the description down below. You'll see question of the day. Click on that. All you have to do is vote in the poll. You'll see it when you go there. All you have to do is vote in the poll.
Call from
Carlos.
To accept, press.
Carlos, what's up, brother? How you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, Ryan, man? Calling you from LA again.
Nice. How's it out there? You guys are you a Laker fan by chance?
Oh, no, man. I'm not a basketball fan. I'm more into football.
There you go. What's on your mind, brother?
Oh, man, a lot of things, man. A lot of things. So I'm looking at this Sam Darnold situation, and you know what? I am a big fan of Sam Darnold. I believe in the guy. But in this situation, I honestly believe that, you know what? The Jets ruined him. Sucks to say it, but the best case scenario would be have Sam play 12 games straight, good games, so other teams go and give picks for him. And at the end of the day, this is what I say about Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas is a businessman. He might have said, hey, I came over here for Sam Darnold, but if we do land the number 1 spot, he's going to be in a situation where it's like he has to take Trevor Lawrence. There's no way around it. You take Trevor Lawrence in a 5-year rookie contract, build that team around him, and I think this will be the best case scenario where the Jets are going to turn things around.
Yeah, that's really what it stems from. Like, if the Jets are bad enough to get that number 1 overall pick, I think you sort of made your decision on, how good Sam Darnold can really be. Like, if Sam's good enough, even with a bad team, he should be able to get us a few wins. Even with the hard schedule, he should be able to make the team around him a little bit better. And I'm not so sure we're seeing that right now. When you lose to the Broncos the way you lost them, I think that is just despicable. You can't lose to an injured team like that. I feel like we've been playing just beat-up teams. Oh, I shouldn't say beat-up teams. 2 beat-up teams. The 49ers.
Exactly, man. And people say, you know what, he doesn't. I mean, I see film on him where he does have, wide receivers open. But this is what I tell people: look, he might not have wide receivers wide open, but under the gauge system, he teaches them how to look at the check down first and avoid everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is what I will say. You know, hopefully Sam turns it around where he's going to show Joe Douglas and everybody else in the NFL that he has it. Whereas I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Douglas goes to Sam Darnold and says, "Hey, I believe in you, but I'm gonna give you a 4-year team-friendly deal while we build, and then from there you could get paid."
Yeah. Now maybe you create a contract with Sam that, you know, if you want to stretch it out that far, it's team-friendly, but it has escalations in it where you say, "Hey, you play like an elite quarterback, you get paid like an elite quarterback. If you don't, here's your baseline right now." Or does Sam not agree to that and he just says, "Look, this is a shitty situation. I'm getting the hell out of here. Like, I won't sign the extension. I'm going to let my contract roll out. You can give me the $25 million on the 5th-year option if you want to tag me for that. If not, let me walk after my 4 years. I'm going to go to the Saints. I'm going to go to the Colts. I'm going to go to the Steelers." And I think he'll have a significantly better shot at winning than staying with the Jets.
Oh,
I think that's a real fear.
And no hard feelings there. You know, that you can't blame him if he does do that. You cannot blame him.
Mm-hmm.
But
now,
no, just wanted to call real quick and say that as far as that end. And hopefully, you know what, if the Jets get destroyed versus the Cardinals, the Johnsons will learn from the Texans and fire him. You know?
Now, do you have a coach that you would like to see be the head coach of the New York Jets next year? I'm assuming Greg Williams would be the interim head coach. Nothing's going to happen really this season. But who would you prefer?
Playing, he got to go too. I would see the coach. This is what I tell people: the coach will depend on who we have as quarterback. If we keep Sam Darnold, we got to go with was that guy Arthur from the Tennessee Titans. And
I could see that.
If not, if we have to draft a new quarterback, it will have to be that guy from Baltimore. A lot of people are saying
Greg Roman,
the enemy. But this is what I tell people: look, as much as you might like that guy,
mm-hmm.
he doesn't play. Andy Reid does not let him call plays when the game is on the line. You might see him call plays here and there, and that's
mm-hmm.
about it. But who has he developed? He's in a position where he's in a high-power offense. He doesn't have to develop anything other than just making plays. If we're gonna get a coach to kind of build this organization up, it has to be a coach that is known for building and developing players. We haven't seen that from Eric Bieniemy. I'm sorry, but we haven't. No one has come out saying that he developed a certain player.
Sure. And that's the biggest issue that we're running into right now. You don't have guys that are creative enough to build an offense around the talent that you have. You don't have guys that are developing players. When's the last time that we saw like a Jet player actually develop? Like Jamal, I guess. It seems like Quinnen Williams is starting to like come into his own. I am excited to see that. Becton looks pretty good. But is that grooming or is that just raw skill?
It all varies. I mean, but this is what I tell people: like you in this situation, if they're gonna let Joe Bill have a coach, he's gonna know that it has to come in from where we're at and where we're going. The enemy right now, there's no way that he would have succeeded even if we hired him last year. You know, with what we have, no, because he hasn't developed anything or anyone. He's just in a situation where he has a high-power offense. Andy doesn't even let him take over a game. If he praises him that much, at least give him a whole quarter. That's what I say. But might be wrong, but all right, Ryan, I'll let you go. Appreciate that, man. Love what you're doing.
Awesome, brother. Thanks so much for the call. Jordan Ivey, thank you for the super chat. He says, Sam's ruined. Look at how Herbert and Burrow are playing. Can't let the obvious escape you. Take advantage of the rookie contract. Hey, brother, I get it. I completely understand that thought process. When you look at what Burrow and Herbert are doing, 300-yard games, just bombing balls downfield, why can't Sam do that? Sam looks like he's got the talent. For some reason, whatever we're doing is completely wrong. I just can't figure it out.
Who is?
Hey, brother, what's up, dude? How you doing tonight?
What's up, Ryan? How you doing, man?
I'm trying to stay sane. What's on your mind?
I was thinking about this the other day of like a potential kind of off-season scenario if we were to hold on to Sam, pick up his option. So I think the key to turning it around next year, besides hiring the head coach, is actually doing something in free agency this year. Like, to be fair, we really didn't do anything. So the one guy I really want is Shaquille Barrett from the Bucks, because I think if we go edge rusher in free agency, or we get he led the league in sacks, we get Judon, we get Dupree. I think we can go full offense in the draft, and that would be really cool. So if we could get Shaquille Barrett and maybe like either Juju Smith-Schuster or Joe Thuney, like that could really help. And then if you get that first overall pick, you can trade back and get Penei Sewell, because Sam's been decent, but I don't know if he's like a long-term guy. And everyone's talking about Trevor Lawrence being this generational prospect at the quarterback position. Sewell's been regarded as generational prospect at the tackle position. People consider him the best player in the draft class. So you could have a line of Becton, Thuney, McGovern, and then you could, on the right side, you could either do Lewis or you could do Cam Clark. Don't forget, we drafted him. He might be pretty decent. And then Penei Sewell. So you actually have a decent offensive line. And then at your edge rusher, let's say you let Jordan Jenkins go, or you bring him back. You got Barrett or one of the guys you signed. And then you got Zuniga too, and you can kind of do a rotation, like you do like Bryce Huff, something like that. And I just think the most important thing is getting the head coach right, because if you got a good head coach, which people are saying that it's going to be so hard for us to bring in such a good head coach, I actually disagree, because you got a ton of cap space. You got Joe Duff is a pretty respected guy. You got a ton of draft capital, and you got owners who are going to hold on to you for forever, like they are doing with Adam Gates. I don't know. What do you think, man?
So for me, God, it's so tough because there's so many different ways you could go. When I'm looking at free agency, I like the edge rusher route. Like if we're sticking with Sam, I'd like to get Thuney and Juju. I want to like help the offense as much as possible. So if you could lock in a number one wide receiver who wants to play with Sam, now he doesn't want to stay in Pittsburgh, but if you could say he's locked in with Sam here, and then you have Thuney come in, that you replace Van Roten, or you swap Alex Smith over there, and whatever. Then that looks really interesting. And then you trade out of number one, and then you take the edge rusher from, what is it, Florida? I like
Miami. Rousseau.
Miami. I knew he was somewhere.
Rousseau, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, close enough.
Or do you get the bookend tackle, like you said, from Oregon, and you have a left and right tackle locked down for the foreseeable future? Now, there's some options for edge rusher in free agency. I would like to, because the Jets have so much money, if you could double down and you could really go after, say, like a Judon and Judon and Barrett would be filthy. But if you could get Judon and, like, who's the guy from Pittsburgh? Dupree. Dupree would be interesting.
I
Melvin Ingram, maybe an older edge rusher, so it doesn't cost you a crazy ton.
I think Dupree's going to stay, because aren't they not planning on re-signing Juju Smith-Schuster? Because if they're going to let Smith-Schuster go, they're going to probably pay Dupree instead, and then you're going to have to give a mammoth contract to Watt, who's an absolute monster, and then Minka Fitzpatrick's going to need a huge contract. But also, here's
the issue with the Steelers right now. So next year, they're projected to be $26 million over the salary cap. So,
wow.
Yeah, so they have about $10 million, a little under $10 million in salary cap space right now that they could roll over. So that makes it $16 million over the salary cap. That means they need to cut $16 million just to hit zero. And they're going to need another $7 million just to sign their draft class. So for them to sign anyone would take they're going to have to move a ton of people. That means, Big Ben's going to have to get cut. That saves them $19 million. Then you have, Joe Hayden you can move on from. They have some guys. Maurice, or Pouncey you can move on from for $8 million. But then you're starting to deplete your team. There's a lot of guys you can cut to kind of save that cap space. But are you hitting the reset button by doing that? It's going to be interesting to see. I think I think Dupree and I think Juju are just going to be products of free agency because of the amount of money that the Steelers have to try and cut. And the Jets, hopefully, can take advantage of it. Brother, thank you so much for calling in. Get out of here! You have been ejected from the cockpit. Boom! Hashtag sports, thank you so much. He says, thank you for, he says, congrats on hitting 9K. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take my trophy. Now, we're trying to get to 10K. Guys, if you want your shot to win a Just End the Suffering shirt, down in the description down below, there's a link to Flick Chat. It says question of the day, and then Flick Chat. Or Flick Group or whatever. Question of the day with a little football. It's the third link down. If you click on that, that'll get you entered into win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. And all you have to do is answer the poll question on there. You'll see it. Should the Jets tank for Trevor? That's all you got to do.
Call from
Vinny.
Oh, God, Vinny, how you doing, brother?
Terrible. I mean, but you already know that I've stopped watching Jets games and I've now become a full weeaboo otaku watching anime.
Oh, sounds fantastic. Nah,
Well,
dude,
you want to know what? A giant robot killing each other with lightsabers is more entertaining than the New York Jets at this moment.
There is a lot of things more entertaining than the New York Jets at this moment. I could sneeze, and whatever comes out into the tissue is more entertaining than what I've been seeing on Sundays from the New York Jets.
Speaking of giant robots, did you hear Japan built a working giant robot?
I did not. They're suiting up with Gundams and Pacific Rim style, you know.
Yeah, no, they built it. It's for an amusement park. It can fully, it move, it can walk, it can turn its head, it can move its hands, and it can take a knee. And in response, according to Stephen Colbert, the NFL is building a 60-foot Chiefs fan to yell at it for kneeling.
I love it. Vinny, I'm ejecting you. I don't want to talk about anime. I apologize. It's a football show. All right. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Guys say, oh, Steven, that's not nice. Brasley, I don't know if I pronounced that right, says Gase is gone. No worries on that. If we get the first pick, it's got to be a quarterback. You trade Darnold for picks. Yeah, I agree. That's just it. Ugh. Glenn C says CJ Mosley. How much does that stink? CJ Mosley opting out. Now we're not going to be able to see him for like 2 years now. That's basically 2 years without football. We've seen what Bell looks like after 1 year.
Call from
Ugh.
Vinny.
Oh, here we go. Vinny.
What happened there?
Oh, sorry, I accidentally ejected you because you were talking about anime and not football. Let's talk about some football.
Okay, yeah,
man.
no, let's get back to this. Is just awful, and it's just been like, I mean, I think I know he has more wins, but it might just surpass the Rich Kotite era as most painful Jets era.
We stink. Let's call a spade a spade. We stink.
We are pathetic. I mean, pathetic beyond belief. It's like to the point, you know, if I wasn't afraid of burning my house down, I would burn my jersey at this point.
Ugh. Dude, the Jets, they cause me so much heartburn on a day-to-day basis.
That the Johnsons refuse to fire this head coach. Is like, are you perfectly content with sitting there and being completely and utterly humiliated weekend after weekend? I mean, I don't know what type of person could sit there. This is like having someone slap you in the face every Sunday and you being completely content with it.
Look,
I mean, it is just ridiculous.
Is there an answer? Is there a solution?
Fire the head coach and just get anybody else.
Now, are you thinking? Are you sticking with Sam, or are you saying Trevor Lawrence is the solution?
I'm honestly not sure at this point. I really don't know. This coach is just so bad, and we've seen like where people once people are free from his grasp, they suddenly become competent, quality football players.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because we see Ryan Tannehill, you see Kenyon Drake, you see Jarvis Landry, you see Parker. All these guys starting to play really well outside of the Adam Gase umbrella of suck. And I just want to see. That's what gives me hope with Sam. It's like, but am I holding on to hope?
I know.
And
I
just
know.
like-
It's a little tricky. It's like, are you going to go for the new shiny toy in Trevor Lawrence? Or are you
I think
going
you have to. That
it's
rookie-
just the
that
guy
rookie
playing
contract-
with the toy that makes it bad?
If this was Sam's rookie year, and we were going into year 2 with Sam, and you canned Adam Gase, and you had 4 more years or 3 more years of rookie Sam plus the 5th-year option, then I think you hold on to Sam. But right now you're going into his 4th year. This is the biggest issue.
Maybe you trade him to get more picks. Maybe you trade him to a team. Maybe you trade him to a team to get more picks. I have no idea what you're going to do.
He's got to go to a contender. That's what it's got to be. A team like the Saints that might be picking at the end of the first round. Now, Josh Rosen went for a late second, but that was after 1 year, so he still had 4 years left on his contract. The Jets, they don't have a lot of leverage with Sam. It's kind of like, hey, who's going to take him because we got the first pick and we're just basically using it on a new quarterback.
No, but you know what? I think I know one. I want to say one thing, though. Like, remember when I asked you the question of if you could replace anyone on this 4 people on this team with Pro Bowler / Hall of Famer / Ring of Honor Jets? Remember when I asked that question?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I know one person. Everybody on this team. I know one person. Every fan on this team. Every fan of this team would say they would take in a heartbeat. And you know who that person is?
Who's that?
Weeb Eubank.
Yeah, dude, we need a coach. We need a coach.
At least he can coach. At least he can coach. I mean, my God, like, I think everybody would take that in a heartbeat. And, you know, funny thing I was talking about, another thing, I was talking about another Jets fan, Dark Demonic, because the Jets' misfortunes have primarily been due to a lack of poor ownership. And
Sure.
me and Demonic
it's top down.
Me and Dark Demonic both agree the Jets haven't had a competent owner since 1967 when Sonny Werblin sold his shares to Leon Hess in the team.
Dude, we have stunk forever. I'll give you a hint. There's a question on the Flick chat that I have going on down there that says how many wins the Jets have in the 1970s. Do you know how many winning seasons the Jets had in the 1970s?
0.
Oh yeah, that's a big old donut in the grade book.
Well, they probably would have had a winning season in 1970 had Namath been healthy. I mean, they had most of their playoff roster. What happened by the time he got healthy in 1972? The defense had completely fallen to pieces.
Boom! Vinny! You got ejected twice tonight. Twice. 2 times. 2 times. Guys, if you want your shot to win a Just End the Suffering shirt, I'm going to be raffling this off at the end of the show. All you have to do is go down to the link in the description. You'll see question of the day. Should the Jets tank for Trevor? There's a poll question when you click on that link. Nightbot is throwing it up in the chat as well. So if you want your shot to win a Hatcher mug, that's how you do it.
Call from
Mike.
Hey, Mike, what's good, brother?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm trying to hang in there. This team sucks. I don't know what to do.
Oh, I know. Well, I just want to start with I'm a lifelong Jets fan, okay, since 1981. But I got to tell you, man, the Jamal Adams trade really broke my heart. I know you might want to talk about Trevor Lawrence right now, but
hey, it's fine. I'll talk about whatever.
Okay, cool. Here's what I was saying this on Facebook to anybody who would listen. Would the Ravens have gotten rid of Ed Reed on his 3rd year? No. So it's like so frustrating. I got 2 Jamal jerseys, 10 T-shirts. He was my favorite Jet. So it's just so frustrating. You know, Darrelle Revis, we trade him. Keyshawn Johnson, they traded him. Riggins, I don't know. Somehow he ended up on the Redskins. It just gets frustrating after a while.
Good teams find ways to keep their good players. That's what you're getting at.
Exactly.
And I was a diehard Jamal Adams fan. Diehard Jamal Adams fan. And I bought his jersey last year. I pounded my chest for him. I was like, I know there's a lot of haters with him. He talks a big game, and maybe the stats don't necessarily back it up right away, but I thought he was going to be an all-pro caliber safety, and he is. He's a great safety, but he shot his way out of town. He had no desire to stay here. Now, that could be from Adam Gase. It could be that he just never wanted to be here. We saw him flirting with Dallas as early as 2018, so it was prior to Gase getting here. But I don't know. It sucks to watch him go because it feels like every time the Jets get a good player, something stupid happens, and it just ruins everything.
I'll tell you one other angle on this. Like, one time I heard somebody say to Joe Douglas around, like, the time of the draft, "Hey, Joe, what kind of players you looking for?" And he said, "I want a guy who won't be afraid when we have to go into Pittsburgh. Big game. It doesn't scare him. He's ready to go." And I'm thinking, that's Jamal Adams.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow he gets rid of him. So, anyway.
Look, I'll say this. I don't think there's any safety in the league right now that's worth as much as what we got for Jamal Adams. So if Jamal was playing really well and he was a good soldier, I still would have traded him for the compensation that we got. I think it's that important because our team is that devoid of talent right now. And you brought up Ed Reed. Ed Reed and Jamal Adams are so totally different. Ed Reed had something like 20 interceptions in his first 3 years. Jamal Adams has like, what is it, two, I think?
Yeah, I think two.
So
you're right about that part.
It's sort of like apples and bananas.
Yeah. Well, best player on the team, half the stadium had 33 jerseys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the voice. He was the lifeblood of the fan base. There's some great things that Jamal did. I went to the green and white scrimmage last year, and he stayed there till the very end signing stuff. He was, every fan that was there signing. They were all pushing down to the bottom part of the stadium. He was awesome. He's a very fun guy to watch. You see him. You saw what he did when he got traded to Seattle. And he's got the cigar and the sunglasses, and he's jumping around. It's like that's how you get a fan base excited. I want to see someone excited to come to our team. And right now, guys only come to our team if we're going to pay them a crap ton of money and they're going to retire like on the field. That's basically what's happening.
Yeah, I agree.
Crushes me.
Look, me too, brother. But yeah, maybe we could piece this together. I kind of like the guy who called and said the best thing for us is if Sam Darnold's the real deal and we can use these picks and trade out of one and build the team around him.
Well, that's kind of where I fall. It feels like we have our quarterback. It just feels like we don't have anything around our quarterback. So if you can trade out of one and you can get 2 or 3 first-round picks, like if you could really get a haul from this, like I don't know which team it would be that would be coming up to get him, but if you can somehow maybe get a first and a player or something for whether it's a wide receiver or a edge rusher or a cornerback, if there's some team that's willing to put together a good package for the Jets to go up and us just slide back a little bit, then the worst case scenario is if Sam doesn't pan out after his 5th year option, you just draft a new quarterback, trade all your assets, and go up and get him. The thing right now is if you get that number 1 overall pick, you don't have to trade any assets. You could just take him, and that's valuable. That's the big piece of this, I think.
Yep, I agree. Well, cool. Hey, thanks for taking my call, brother.
Of course. Thank you so much. I look forward to your call next time. And you've been ejected from the cockpit. That was a good call. Good call. Good questions. See, we don't always have to talk about the crash and burn of Sam Darnold and the Jets and the head coach. We can talk about the crash and burn of the Jamal Adams thing. It feels like we just can't win. I want this channel to grow so badly. But when you have terrible season after terrible season, it's just, it's not going to happen. No one looks up Jet highlights or Jet recaps when you lose to the friggin' Broncos on a backup. God, it's just so bad. We stink. I want us to be good.
Call
and
from
we just stink.
Paul.
Paul, what's good, brother? How you doing tonight?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. It's tough being a Jets fan.
Good to hear. Yeah, it's tough. I listen to you all the time. I'm actually a Ram fan from way back. But
nice.
You have a great show, and I feel for you guys.
Thank you.
I think you're going to have a tough time. Well, And being a Ram fan, I actually went to UCLA. So USC is a crosstown rival.
Sure.
Listen, you don't have to be a genius to go to USC, okay?
Oh.
So,
are you saying Sam's not a genius?
I'm just saying that the track record of USC quarterbacks and a lot of USC alums, O.J. Simpson, is not really fantastic. So don't expect the guy's going to be a bookworm and going to be really, really cerebral.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I think you guys are stuck with moving on from him because it's not really a question of, like you said a few minutes ago, first or second year Sam Darnold versus first year Trevor Lawrence. You know, the clock's already running on Sam Darnold, so you've got extra money you're going to have to pay him in a year and afterwards, where you're going to get a huge discount for a guy like Trevor Lawrence. And if Lawrence is even the same as Sam Darnold, you guys will come out ahead because you'll have extra money during those first 2 years.
Sure.
And also you're going to have a tough time getting rid of Gase, because what other coach is going to look at that Jet roster and say, okay, they gave Gase 2 years or a year and a half, and then they got rid of him. You know, did they expect the guy to work miracles? So I think maybe you guys are just going to have to grin and bear it with Gase, look for a top pick, and then realize you're investing for the future because you're letting a guy like Urban Meyer or some other big name realize, okay, they're not a clown organization. I'm going to get time to turn things around. What do you think?
Sure. So here's my argument for your last point about Adam Gase. And you're right, and that's part of the reason why I thought the Jets might let Adam Gase go the entire season and not fire him midseason, because that'd just be like a year and a half. But they gave Bowles a bunch of years. They gave him more years than a lot of people thought they should. They gave Rex Ryan way more years than they thought he should have. A lot of people thought he should have been fired after the 2 bad years after the championship game, and they gave him a little extra time. So the Johnsons, it's an odd team. It's an odd system because the GM and the head coach are on equal footing, and they both report to the owner. And with that creates kind of a backstabbing, if you will. If it's like, hey, it's not me, it's that guy. It's, you know, so you see this weird power struggle. You saw it with McCagnon, you saw it with Idzik when he was here as RGM with Rex, and now you're seeing it with Douglas and Gase. Not quite as much because Gase helped bring Douglas in, so I think there's, you know, a little bit of camaraderie there. But with Adam Gase, if the team's not coming out inspired, if you're not seeing any kind of growth from the team or discipline from the team, like we're seeing undisciplined football, we're seeing a lot of penalties. That's a big issue. When you say what could a coach come into, like they're looking at our roster, and our roster is bad right now. I 100% agree. We still have the rest of the season to see what all our draft picks look like. Like we haven't seen Mims yet. We haven't seen Zuniga, the edge rusher. We haven't seen, you know, a lot of the guys that seem pretty high upside guys that we picked. So the rest of the season will sort of tell that. But the Jets have $80 million rolling into next offseason when a lot of other teams don't have cap space, which means a lot of teams are going to have to cut big-name guys, and that allows the Jets an opportunity to sign some big-name players. Then the Jets have 2 first-round picks this year, 2 first-round picks next year. If the Jets have the first overall pick, and you're saying a head coach could come in and know they're taking Trevor Lawrence right off the bat, that is going to be attractive. I would throw stupid money at Urban Meyer to get him here. I would throw silly money at Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley just signed a contract, I believe it was last year, 2 years ago. Same with the guy from Clemson. Both those guys are on huge deals. No way either one of them is leaving. You're going to have to go with either Greg Roman from the Rams, or sorry, not the Rams, the Ravens, Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs. Maybe take the Bills guy, but Urban Meyer's the guy that, like, he feels like an exciting guy. Like, he has been around the block. He has won championships in the college ranks. He's got that head coach mentality. And maybe college doesn't necessarily translate to the NFL, but it seems like it does as of recent years.
You know, and it seems like it does, and he's won at different size schools, and he would have he wouldn't be the guy following the guy for the Jets. He'd be able to sort of blaze his own trail. You know, he'd have time to do what he wanted, and he's shown that he really knows the game. I could see that, and you know, now that I think about it, if he's going to continue to run, if Gase is going to continue to run injured guys out there and ruin them for the next 5-10 years, that would also be against it. But I would say there might be a worse fate if somebody looked at it from the outside and thought, oh, I don't want to go there. They never give you time and they don't know what they're doing.
Sure.
If it turns out they hold on to him, you guys could be in worse shape.
That's just it. He's like, it's almost like when you have a grease fire and you try throwing water on it and just, it's like, that's what Adam Gase is right now. There's no part of me that believes this team has gotten better over the last 2 years because of Adam Gase. It just doesn't. I know the record was better last year, but that is very much a sham. We won against a backup Steelers third-string quarterback and the backups for the Bills last 2 weeks. This team should have been 5-11. Dude,
and he's
thank you so much for your call. I appreciate the call. And you've been ejected from the cockpit. I love that chicken. Chicken's fantastic. Guys, if you want your shot to win a Just End the Suffering shirt, they've been selling like hotcakes. So if you want to get yours before they're all sold out, make sure you join the Flick chat. I have the comment pinned in the chat right now. All you have to do is click on that and then just vote in the poll. We got a poll question. Should the Jets tank for Trevor? So all you got to do is vote on it. And I'll raffle that off at the end of the show.
Tyler.
Hey, what's good, brother? How you doing tonight?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. Headed into work.
What's on your mind? What was that?
Nothing much, man. Yeah, I'm actually calling from Hawaii.
Oh, no shit. Holy smokes. That's awesome. What time is it over by you? It's got to be like, what, 5 in the afternoon?
3:15. Yeah, 3:15.
3. Damn, it's a 6-hour time difference? I've never been to Hawaii.
Yeah, man, you know what's funny?
Jealous.
Most of the Jets games are at 7 in the morning here, so by the time I wake up, we're down by like 21 already.
Does it hurt that you have to wake up and start your day with sadness? Or like with the rest of us on the East Coast, we're starting at like 1 o'clock at least.
Man, it sucks, man. Yeah, it sucks. But, man, hey, thanks for doing this show. It's kind of weird. It's almost like therapeutic to hear other people in just as much pain as I'm in, man.
Dude, it's one of those things. I should make a shirt that says "Misery loves company" because it's so true. It's just I made this channel to just complain and just be like, I just want to talk and get excited about our Jets, and just every year they like kick me in the nuts.
Yeah, I'm already looking at mock drafts, but yeah, it's pretty sad.
Oh, I'm trying not to. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I've clicked on Tankathon to see where we're sitting on the draft board.
Yeah, I heard that that other caller talking about Jamal, man. Do you think we would have had a different record if he was still here? I think probably not, man. I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, you could probably make an argument for the Bronco game just because we had the ball run down our throats, and maybe Jamal makes some type of play, whether it's a turnover or a stop at some point. I don't think we're better than 1-3 at best. Like, I think the Bronco game's the only one we had a shot at potentially flipping the script on. I think he doesn't move the needle enough in the win-loss column. Now, maybe he moves it in such a way that he's so energetic and the team really loves him, and now maybe that creates more energy in a weird roundabout way, but I think the Jets did the right thing trading him. I think we got more value than what he was worth to us. And I think he was a player that doesn't want to be in New York anyway. I think he ultimately wanted to go to Dallas. He's with the Seahawks right now. I don't think he's going to sign an extension with them. I think he's going to play his 2 years on his contract and he'll be out.
Oh, man, yeah, that's going to hurt the Seahawks, man.
Yeah, it's not good. Their defense, hold on, I got to look up their defense real quick because I'm pretty sure I have someone I thought said that are they actually last place? Yeah, the Seahawks are like bad. They's way worse than the Jets. In terms right now, this is what 1, 2, 32nd, 31st, 30th, 20. They're like 28th in the league. I've seen other people say 32nd, but I don't know if that's actually accurate. If it's maybe it's scoring.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Seahawks are towards the bottom of the league in, like, everything.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. You could have passed up that compensation. But I had another question.
Yeah, shoot.
Are you ready to humble yourself and, man, give Josh Allen some credit? Man, it sucks.
I 100% am. Josh Allen looks legit. He should absolutely be in conversations for MVP along with Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray up until, I guess, last week. But I really like Josh Allen and what he's doing right now. That team is so smart between the GM, the head coach, just everyone they've surrounded Josh Allen with. They've really put him in a situation to succeed, and he's playing so much better than I ever would have thought. This year really, really changed everything, in my opinion, of Josh Allen, and it sucks. It really sucks because I feel like Sam has that kind of talent, but just he's in like the worst situation. And to watch our now division rival in the Buffalo Bills have their franchise quarterback, and it went from Miami with having Marino to Tom Brady to now Josh Allen. Now I'm not saying Josh Allen's going to be like the guy for the next 15 years. We don't know if that's going to be the case, but it certainly seems like they have a winner there, and I'm pretty jealous about it right now.
Yeah. Real quick, I actually became a Jets fan because of the Bills. So my dad's a diehard Bills fan, and I just picked the team to cheer against him. So I picked the wrong FC team, man. It sucks.
Hey, at least we got a ring. Buffalo Bills, they don't got a ring yet. That's our one thing we can hang our hat on. That's just it. I see, when I have kids, I don't know if I should push them into being a Jet fan because I don't know if that technically counts as domestic abuse. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, it's so sad. I'm just going to be like, pick your own team. Brother, thank you so much for calling from Hawaii. That's really cool. I'm going to add your I'm going to put a little thumbtack on my big board over there for Hawaii. I put a little thumbtack for wherever people are kind of from. And I got a few all over the world. It's kind of neat. I don't have a Hawaii one, so that's first for me. Ugh. Yeah, Bills fan forever saying, man, preach about Josh Allen. Dude, I will give credit where credit is due. That's just it. The Jets, I'm jealous. I wish our team was looking like the Bills right now.
Grant.
Hey, what's good, dude? How you doing tonight?
Good. How about you?
I'm trying to stay optimistic. I'm trying to stay optimistic, and it's just not happening. Not happening.
Okay. I have a different question than the question of the night because I've been debating this with people around me. I live in Nashville, so I hear crap about the Jets all the time.
Sure.
And am I delusional, or do I think that if we get the number one pick, we should trade it for the King's ransom? Because I think Darnold is good if you put him with people around him.
That's been my gut feeling for a while. And I've had arguments with people about this where I've said, look, trade the first pick and just get a King's ransom for it and surround this team with talent. Because the worst case scenario, if Sam is not the guy in 2 years' time and you spend so many resources on building this team, the worst case scenario is you have to trade an entire draft class to go up and get your quarterback in 2023. And if that's what it has to be, I'm okay with that. I'm good with rolling with Sam if we believe Sam's the guy. Like I'm okay with that. The tough thing for me is the whole Trevor Lawrence contract and 5 years of rookie deal. And if Douglas believes in Trevor Lawrence, like I don't want to handcuff our new coach to Sam Darnold if he doesn't believe in Sam Darnold. And I don't want to limit our head coaching search to guys that, maybe we're getting the third best head coach because we want to handcuff him to Sam Darnold. That, I think, is a mistake. I think you have to get the best head coach, and then from there you let him make the decision. If he wants to keep Sam, 100% behind it. If he wants to go for Trevor Lawrence, I 100% get it. It makes a ton of sense to me. I don't know.
I agree with you there because the Jets just need a good coach. Because I hate sitting back and watching Adam Gase. It infuriates me.
Todd Bowles was kind of the same way. I liked Bowles more than I like Gase. But I think Bowles had a very, very calm personality, which I think we needed probably after the Rex era. But, man, the fire that Rex had. Rex was a fan. And that's like, I want to feel that again. I want to feel that energy. I think Urban Meyer brings that kind of energy. I don't really know much about the personality of Greg Roman, but he seems like a guy that is a little more like, feels like he could fire up a room.
Yeah. My only concern about the guy for the Chiefs is how much is his influence really being played out in Kansas City just because Andy Reid is sitting there as the offensive genius and everybody touts Eric Bieniemy is his name, I think.
Yeah.
And everybody touts him as great. But I don't know. To me, he seems like too much of a risk just because I don't know how much input he has on offense.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing with Bieniemy. I feel like he's been the hot name for the last 2 or 3 years. and it kind of feels like there's a reason he's not being a head coach. I looked into a little bit about his past because some people were talking about, I think he's got a DUI and some other weird situations that popped up at other stops that he had. And it's not the best, so maybe they don't want that necessarily tied to their franchise. Now, I guess Urban Meyer comes with his skeletons in his closet, but I want someone that has a proven track record, whether it's Greg Roman from Baltimore, because he's developed systems for weird, I don't want to say weird quarterbacks, but guys like Colin Kaepernick, Lamar Jackson, Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
He fitted around Alex Smith. Like, he shows that he can build an offense around the strengths of a team, and that to me is important. I just don't know if he has the head coach in him, if he's got that sort of personality. Like, I don't know. Like, I kind of like the idea of a head coach from college that knows how to like rally guys that are this whole system in the NFL is built to take advantage of rookie contracts. So 85% of the players are probably within the first 5 years of their, getting out of college. So I think they would respond well to a player's coach, to an exciting coach, to someone that brings fun and discipline to a team a little bit more. I would give Urban Meyer a blank check, and I'd say, hey, fill in whatever numbers you want. That's what you're getting.
Yeah, that sounds good. He brings all the pedigree, and there's also an immediate amount of respect.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. When you bring in an Urban Meyer, you're like, okay, that guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I personally, I don't think Adam Gase would be that bad of a coordinator. Now, that's not how it really works in the NFL. You can't really just demote some guy. But,
Sure.
I don't think he'd be that bad of a coordinator. I think he just doesn't have the energy to be a head coach, because watching his media conferences after games is terrible.
He's brutal. He is not good in front of a camera at all.
No, it's terrible. He hangs his head and, hides.
Yeah, and he goes, we got to clean it up. We'll look at the tape. This and that, and can't do that. Can't cause that penalty. Can't do that. And then it's like, dude, come on, fix it. Fix it.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Same shit every single week. Fix it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't get fixed.
Yeah.
All right, brother. I'm going to move on to the next caller. Thank you so much. You have been ejected from the cockpit. You're out of here! This is what happens when I forget to click the timer. I forgot to click the timer. Guys, if you want your shirt to win a Just End the Suffering shirt, click the third link in the description down below. It's to the question of the day. All you have to do is vote in the poll. Should the Jets tank for Trevor? That's all you have to do and vote on. I also pinned the comment. It's to the Flick chat in the live chat. All you have to do is click on that and get yourself entered to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. Who we got?
Call from
Jack.
Jack, what's good, brother? How you doing tonight?
Going on, man? Doing good.
I'm trying to hang in there. I'm trying. What's on your mind, brother?
I just kind of hopped into the stream not that long ago, so I don't really know if I don't know if you've been asked this question, but I wanted to talk. I know you're not happy about it, but I wanted to ask you a couple questions about the draft and stuff. And
sure.
I know you're probably not looking forward to it, but anyways, I kind of wanted to see, because I've been looking at rosters and seeing where maybe we could trade Le'Veon.
Sure.
And I don't really know. It's kind of tough, because it feels like a lot of the teams that could be looking for a running back. First of all, it doesn't even feel like a lot of teams really need a running back, besides maybe the Washington football team or some. But then again, the teams that I feel do kind of need a running back, they're already they're kind of rebuilding, and they don't want to spend a lot of money on a guy who's I feel like Bell, his cap hit is too much. So I don't know.
So
I want to
Bell's...
see what you think we'd be able to get for him.
Let's take a look. I'll pull up Bell's contract right now. So if we were to trade him, let's say at the deadline. So the deadline's I think it's the second week of November, first week of November. It's somewhere in there. It's right around week 7 or so.
Yeah.
If the Jets trade him, the team that's getting him would basically be on the hook for I think it's $7 million. It's not that bad.
Right. It's not, okay. It's not as bad.
Yeah. It's a relatively reasonable. Let's see. Trade. June 1st trade. So it'd be God. So the Jets would be, so the Jets would eat $2 million, and then it would be $11.5 million divided by 16, and then it would be that much per game. So it's probably about $7 million is what the team that would be picking up his contract would be. Now I'm thinking this has to come from a team that has playoff hopes. That's a running back away. A team like say Baltimore loses their running back or something like that, or Clyde Hilaire goes down in Kansas City. A team that's really competing. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Derrick Henry gets hurt, and we're all of a sudden looking like, hey, you need a running back. Bell's sitting here. We could use a 3rd round pick. I don't know what we could get for Bell. It's a pretty expensive contract, but any team that trades for him can get out of the contract after this year. So that's the saving grace for this whole move.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like maybe we get somewhere like a early 4th or a late 3rd or something like that. I really don't think any much more than that though. Yeah,
that's kind of where I see his value as well. I kind of see that same threshold. I don't think he's worth like some people will say like, oh, he's worth a 2nd or a 1st. Like, nah, dude. Like I get it. Like talent wise, you maybe you want to argue that, but his contract mixed with the production over the last 2 years is just not there. Put it this way: would you give up a 1st or a 2nd round pick for Le'Veon Bell? No. The answer is no. Right now, a 3rd round pick. You could talk me into it if I'm a playoff contender and it's going to be a late 3rd round pick. Right. Sure. I think that's where the conversation starts to get interesting. But I think 4th round pick, you could probably get anywhere in the 4th round for him. And it could just be a salary dump. It could just be like, hey, the Jets want to save $6 million in cap space, just by moving on from him and getting an additional draft pick. The only thing is then you're leaving the cupboard bare for Sam Darnold. But if we're not going to use him the right way anyway, there's no point in having him on the team.
Yeah. No, I was also thinking like maybe we trade Sam and get something for that. I mean, I feel like we should do that maybe like if we take Lawrence. I feel like we should wait, obviously. But sure. I had an additional question.
Sure.
So obviously we can assume the Seahawks are going to make like the playoff push, right? They're probably going to be in the high 20s, maybe even like 31 or 30 or 32. But how interested would you be if? Because, like, let's assume we have the number 1 overall pick, we are going to have 33 and somewhere between, like, 28 and 32. How interested would you be in taking Travis Etienne at one of those picks to replace Bell?
I'm torn with taking a running back so high.
Yeah.
I'd rather I'm not like totally against it. I'm really not. But for what this team needs, if we take Lawrence, I think you need to help him with wide receivers. So it depends what happens in free agency. If you're getting Juju in free agency, although if you're trading Sam, maybe you're not getting Juju in free agency. Maybe you're going after like a Robinson, or maybe you're deciding to go after edge rushers, and then you're going to use some of your other picks in the draft on receivers. It depends what Mims shows. There's so many ifs to the season. I just feel like we can't get any answers.
Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like if we do end up trading Sam and Bell, we could have somewhere between somewhere around like 2 firsts, 2 seconds, like 3 thirds, maybe 2 firsts, 1 second, and 4 thirds. Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential, but
yeah, I mean, there really is. That's the thing. Our war chest is stacked right now.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think that the Jets have an opportunity here to really rebuild this team the right way. You can add a corner. You can add an edge rusher. You have the money to bring in exciting pieces. The issue is going to be what players are going to want to sign with the Jets in free agency that aren't going to cost us a huge arm and a leg that we've had issues with in the past, like a Tremaine Johnson, like a C.J. Mosley, like a Deverell Revis, a Le'Veon Bell, like these players that just haven't moved the needle. Or are we going to see more of the same from this past year and then just hope that we keep drafting well or start drafting well or however you want to say it?
Yeah.
I think part of it has to be retaining our own players. Like, I think you have to re-sign Marcus May. I think you have to re-sign Brian Poole. Like, guys that have played well for you. Alex Lewis. I think you should have to, like, re-sign some of these guys to at least build up that camaraderie, that system. Because if you start letting all your guys walk away, what player is going to get drafted here and be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to sign a second contract with the Jets? No, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, no.
Second contracts are never signed with the Jets.
Yeah. And, like, the reason that I brought up Etienne is because, like, I know Joe Douglas has said, like, you know, he doesn't like paying, like, or he hasn't said it, but he's shown that he doesn't like paying running backs, you know? He doesn't like giving them out big contracts. So, I don't know. I feel like he'd be interested just because it's a cheap deal and we're getting, like, a really good running back out of it.
Yeah, I think, look, I think that's going to be an option because I think the Jets are going to get rid of Bell, whether it's by trade or by cutting him, however you feel they're going to do it. He's not going to be here for next year. We took P. Ryan. Gore's probably gone after this year. So we're going to need some type of running back. And if P. Ryan is going to be your third down back, then you got to bring in someone else. So whether that's a late first round pick with like the Seattle pick, you're one of the second round, like a second round pick, or maybe one of them if you move on from Sam. Third round pick. The third round is probably where I feel a little more comfortable pulling the trigger on a running back. I prefer if we went, you know, whether it's quarterback, edge rusher, corner, early on is where I'd like to devote most of our resources. But brother, thank you so much for calling in. You have been ejected from the cockpit. Ejected. Gone. Out of here. J.E. says, who is Lawrence throwing to? Lawrence was throwing to T. Higgins, one of the top wide receivers drafted last year.
Call from
Frank from Florida.
My brother from Florida. How you doing tonight?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm trying to stay optimistic about this shithole of a team that we've had to watch all year.
Same here, man. Same here. Believe me when I tell you. Yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about us pursuing the head coach. I really don't want to go the offensive coordinator route. Like, Eric Bieniemy kind of scares me. He interviewed for a lot of jobs. It looked like, you know, a lot of the general managers didn't feel very comfortable with him. I really don't want to go Greg Roman as well. I want a veteran head coach that has had success in the NFL. Someone like a Jim Harbaugh. Because the last time that we paid a coach was Bill Parcells, and they did pan out for that time being. After that, we've kind of taken gambles with coaches. We really haven't paid for a coach. And I would like to bring in Urban Meyer, Jim Harbaugh, or even I would like to reach out to Philadelphia and try to get Doug Peterson off their hands, because Doug Peterson has ties with Douglas. And if it's going to cost draft compensation, I'm willing to do it, because Peterson is an offensive mastermind. He's won a Super Bowl. He has New England's number. And I would love to bring him in. I just want to see what your insight would be on that.
Yeah, look, that's an interesting situation. Let me see what Joe. Let me see. I want to see what his contract is. Doug Peterson contract. He signed Where is it? A 3-year contract. So is he going into the last year of his deal? Is that actually true? Doug Peterson's...
He might be, and I heard like last year that they're willing to get rid of him.
So
like,
that's what I've heard.
Happy with him.
I've heard that too, and I'm wondering if we brought him in, is Sam similar to Carson Wentz, that he would like that, where he's kind of a mobile quarterback, could throw on the run. It's an interesting thing to see. I wouldn't be against it.
Wentz is Peterson's guy, and look what they did during the draft. They got Jalen Hurts. Maybe they're going through a full rebuilding mode as well, because their team's in kind of a mess as of late. And I'm not going to put the blame on Peterson, because a lot of it has to do with the personnel they're bringing in. They've had a lot of injuries as well. But I love Doug Peterson. He comes from the Andy Reid umbrella. Great coach. And you saw what he did in the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. That was remarkable.
Sure.
I'm just tired of this. I'm tired of this Eric Bieniemy crap and Greg Roman. We got to bring a real coach in that had success in the NFL.
Yeah, I would like, for me, if I had to say my top option in terms of like guy that would bring legitimacy to this team, Urban Meyer feels like the name I'd want us to throw stupid money at. Like, whatever he wants, pay him to get him. Just be like, hey, you can't refuse $8 million a year, $10 million a year, whatever it is. Just go out there and just be like, hey, we got you. You're locked in. And, you know, basically whoever Joe Douglas wants is who I want us to get, which is why Greg Roman sort of, like, feels like it might make sense. I'm not against Greg Roman. It feels like he adapts his offenses to his player personnel. But I agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of the offensive coordinator that hasn't led a team. Like, Urban Meyer is legit. Doug Peterson is legit. Harbaugh is legit. Like, these guys have clout with the players in this league. Now, Harbaugh kind of rubs people a lot the wrong way. I wouldn't be against it. I'd be excited for it. He's a quarterback guy. But I do like Peterson.
I don't
like
see
Urban
Harbaugh and Douglas getting along, so I'm going to take him out of the picture. I can see Doug Peterson and Douglas getting along perfectly, especially all the Jets are going to have like $30 million in cap room. They're going to have a young quarterback, if it's Darnold or Lawrence or Fields. I mean, Peterson's a perfect route to go. Now, look, if we have to trade that Seattle pick, I'm willing to do it. Because the teams that have done it, where they've traded draft compensation, it's panned out for them. Look at New England when they traded that pick for Belichick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that. Now, I don't know if that necessarily always works out. I think there's been like, I don't want to say 3, but I think it's 3 traded coaches that I've seen in the last like X amount of years. And one of them was Belichick. One of them was Herm Edwards. And then the other one was John Gruden going from Oakland to Tampa. And that worked out. I mean, they won a Super Bowl with the guy. Now, the rest of his tenure, not necessarily the best, but I don't know. I have a hard time trading for a head coach because why wouldn't that team want to hold on to him? I don't know. That's sort of the weird thing I fall into with that. But I understand the thought process. And, brother, I completely agree with not wanting to get an offensive coordinator. I understand that thought process. I would like... I don't know. I just don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, it kills me. It just kills me. Guys, we got about 19 minutes before I raffle off a shirt. If you want your shot to win the shirt, all you have to do is click on the pinned comment up at the top. All you have to do is join. Join that. You can answer the poll. Should the Jets tank for Trevor? Should it happen? And I'll raffle off a shirt, hat, or mug at the end of the show. Guys, hit the like button. You got 73 likes. We got 116 people in here. Make sure you smash that like button. I think there's a lot of stuff we could be talking about. I love how there's no questions about the our poor Week 5 matchup with the Cardinals. I don't even know if we can get into that. I think people are we're just too upset. We stunk. We stink. Currently. I don't know. I just don't know. I need you guys to help talk me off a ledge. That's what I really need. I need to not go crazy here. Who we got?
Call from
Mark Sanchez.
Oh, God, Mark Sanchez, how you doing? Please.
Yo, what's up? It's been a while since I got called into the show.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. What's on your mind, brother?
I'm just in depression mode. Like
like every other Jets fan.
Yeah, like every Jets fan. One of my close friends is done, and he's done. He's been a Jets fan for like his whole life, and now he's a Giants fan.
Oh.
So I'm like, damn.
I can't see. I've invested way too much mentally and physically, and emotionally to this team that I can't switch my football team. You could talk me into switching a basketball team, a baseball team, like things that I'm not overly invested in. Like, I'm just basically a New York fan outside of football. But man, I couldn't give up on my Jets. I love them way too much. Now I have an NFC favorite team. I'll say that. Like, I love the Saints. I would say the Saints are my second favorite team.
No, I never liked the Saints, so because of Bounty Gate and so much. I never was a big. I think Drew Brees is overrated too.
Oh, what? Drew Brees is one of my favorite quarterbacks. I'm going to eject you right now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I just want to see good football, and I feel like Sean Payton, Drew Brees, I like Kamara a lot. I liked Jonathan Vilma. He was traded there. I liked Amari Davis. He was there or is there. And then I really wanted Reggie Bush back in 2006. He wound up going there. So it was a whole lot of things, one after the other with this. That's sort of where the Saints thing came in. But I'm a Jet fan through and through.
Yeah, Sam. I think he tried convincing me, but I told him, nah, I couldn't. I can't leave. I like you. I invested like half my life. I'm not like you. I'm still in the young side still. Like
Sure.
I'm 20.
Oh, so you got some time to change. No, I'm kidding. I couldn't change it. If you asked me at 20 to change my team, I couldn't do it.
Yo, that's like I've been a fan since since Sanchez, Rex Ryan.
Sure.
And it's been downhill since.
That's just it. That's what sucks about being a Jet fan or being a fan of any bad team in general. Like, there's a lot more Giant fans because they've had way more success over the course of the last, I wouldn't even say the last few years, but the last 20 years for sure. And then when you go beyond that, the 80s and 90s were all Giants led. Like, the Jets haven't had enough good seasons to have young fans get excited. I have some coworkers that I work with that were a little bit younger in 2009 and 2010. It's probably around your same age. They're 21, 22. And they're excited. They were fired up with these championship games. Like, this is the exciting part. I remember watching the Jets get to those championship games and just seeing Jet fans coming out of the woodworks. And, like, out of nowhere, I was like, this is awesome. This is what I want my team to be. And we have been so bad for so long. People are just going back into the shrubs like that friggin' Homer Simpson cartoon where he just, like, fades away into the bushes. That's our Jets fans.
Yeah, because I think I don't know. It's always been the Johnsons. They're the main comp. It starts off in the top. We know we've been complaining for years, but it's them. They're so incompetent.
Dude, every bad company has. You look at the top of the company, you'd be like, okay, it trickles down, and that's why there's an issue with X, Y, and Z. And I'll say this to the Johnsons. I will say this: they're not afraid to give a head coach time to build the roster. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
They've held on to Bowles for too long. They're holding on to Gase for too long. They held on to Rex for too long. They're also not afraid to spend money. They have shown time and time again to spend a ton of money in free agency, and it just doesn't work. We just have bad guys drafting too. I think Douglas is a good marriage because I feel like he can draft.
Brian, I don't like we should have. I'm still upset about Robbie. We should have matched the deal, and look how well he's doing.
That's my biggest. That's my biggest issue with him because I think Robbie wanted to stay here, and I think Rule was probably. I mean, I think that was appealing to him. Now, maybe Douglas didn't like the personality Robbie had. I can understand that with some of the issues that Robbie had off the field, but when you look at a pure X's and O's standpoint, Robbie's always healthy. Like Perriman was never healthy. I endorsed the Perriman signing. If we weren't going to sign Robbie, I said last year I would give Robbie 4 years, $48 million. It's $1 million a year more than what Tyrell Williams got with the Raiders the year before, and I think Robbie's a better receiver than Tyrell was. And now he goes to the Carolina Panthers for basically a 1 year, $12 million deal and like an $8 million option next year. So I think the Jets should have easily matched that. I think it was a mistake, and that's my biggest black eye on Joe Douglas. I think, brother, thank you so much for calling in. You have been ejected from the cockpit. Guys, just 13 more minutes. Click the link that's pinned in the live chat. Join the Flick chat and answer the poll question. Should the Jets tank for Trevor? All you have to do is answer that question. And you will get your shot to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk Store.
Call from. To accept, press 1.
I don't know whose voice that is. Who are you? Welcome to the cockpit.
This is Steve Reichstrom, a longtime Jets fan.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Man, I just couldn't believe it when that happened. I'm going, oh my God, when he missed the tackles. Oh,
dude, we missed so many tackles. We must have the most missed tackles in the league by a country mile.
Mm-hmm. See, I've been a Jets fan all my, like, 1967.
Damn.
I was just a little kid.
So you didn't even get to remember the Jets Super Bowl.
No.
So you've probably seen more pain than anyone.
Yep.
So what's your... Oh, that's cool. That's really neat.
Yeah.
What's your take on the Sam Darnold situation? Do you want Trevor Lawrence? Are you a Sam Darnold guy?
Trevor. I
Trevor,
like Trevor too. Yeah, he's bigger than him, ain't he? 6'6".
He's 6'6". He's fast. He's got a cannon for an arm. That to me is where I think the majority of fans are probably going to fall on that. Let me see what the poll section says. The poll section right now is leaning towards yes. It's 67 yes for tanking for Trevor, 33% no. That was a lot closer when I looked earlier in the day. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to see because I was such a big Sam Darnold fan, and I was so passionate when we drafted him 3rd overall. But looking at how this team has progressed, looking at where we are as a franchise, I think Lawrence is probably the right pick.
Yeah.
Now, what's on your mind
for head coach?
Head coach. So there's a few different ways we can go about it. If I want Joe Douglas to make the decision first and foremost.
Me too.
I think Greg Roman's going to be high on his list because of the Baltimore connection, his ability to build an offense around the players on the roster. That said, I like what the last caller said, or 2 callers ago, whichever one it was, on having a legitimate head coach. Bring in a guy that can lead men, a guy that's going to get players excited, that's going to be a culture changer. Go out and get Urban Meyer. Just throw whatever money you need to at him to get him to New York.
Yeah.
See if you can get him out of retirement. I would want to pay him. Do you give him the Gruden deal? Do you give him the 10-year, $100 million deal? Do what you want, and you have, you just got to live and die by that bullet then. I don't know.
Yeah, my favorite player was Dennis Byrd.
So what would you
go?
Go on.
Oh, if he, Dennis Byrd, if he wouldn't have broke his neck.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
my favorite player too.
Now, who would you say you want as your head coach? That's what I want to know. I've said I'm a big Urban Meyer guy, big Greg Roman guy.
Yeah. I miss John Roman. Is he good?
John Roman? I don't know who John Roman is. Greg Roman's who I'm looking at. I'm gonna type in John Roman.
Yeah,
Who's
Greg
John
Roman.
There you go. Yeah, that's who because he's worked with Colin Kaepernick. He built an offense around him and Alex Smith.
Yeah.
And Tyrod Taylor and Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah.
I think there's a lot of options there. For me, I don't know if Urban Meyer's a chance or a hope, but man, I would throw as much money at him as it would take to get him here. I think that gets the college players excited. I think that gets the rookies excited. I think that gets the veterans excited. When you have a guy that won as much as he did in Florida and Ohio State, that's how you get a fan base jazzed up.
Oh, yeah.
Got any more questions for me? You got about 50 seconds.
That's it.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay.
Hell
All right.
yeah, definitely. Make sure you
Right.
call in another time. And you have been ejected. Boom!
You're out of here!
From the cockpit. Ugh. Guys, I'm tired. It's been a long week. I'm excited. I'm almost getting towards the end of my season. My season ends basically in November. In November, I start getting a little bit slower, and I can start pumping out a lot more content. It's been frustrating not being able to do what I want to do for you guys. I'm in the busy part of my season, and then I go into the winter, and I got all the time in the world to just pump out content, video after video after video. That's where I want to be. That's what I want to do. What are you guys talking about? Dark Demonic. I still love that name. It's a great name. For those of you that don't know, Dark Demonic, if you haven't watched Grandma's Boy, watch Grandma's Boy. It's from that. It's a fantastic handle right there. Let's see. Pick up a good wide receiver in free agency, says Jason. Hey, Bolly. Who do you want for wide receiver? Yeah, I think that was Jamar Chase. I think that's what that answer was. Am I the only one that knows that? Grandma's Boy is one of my favorite stoner shows or stoner movies, I guess. I love Pineapple Express. Tropic Thunder is a lot of fun. But man, Grandma's Boy is pretty friggin' funny. Sit on my face. Oh God, that movie is. Oh, it's too good. All right. God, what are you guys talking about there? Bienemy as your top choices. Gabe, David Leon, Meyer would be sweet. 7 days make 1 week, says Jamie. You're not wrong. 7 days does make a week. D-Rock says, just tried to call, didn't work. That's because I actually just turned off the phone, which actually I should probably take the phone number off the screen. I've been looking at that nonstop. All right, guys. So we're down to our final bit here in the show. So I get to go into our poll question and see who has voted and see who gets an opportunity to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. If you guys want to keep the conversation going, seriously, Flick Chat, which is in the, well, I don't know where it is, but it's the pinned comment in the chat. It's also the third link down in the description. They have an amazing structure on how they talk or how you're able to interact with people. I can talk to you guys way easier on here than I can in the YouTube comments. So I could try to do that, but if you want to join and have some more fun and conversation outside of that, the Flick Chat's actually really cool. So let's look at this. We got 20 people. 20 people. Got 15 people that voted on it, though. 15 people that voted. So let's go through here. Where is it? I'm going to pick someone from the Flick Chat to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the store, or just a shirt if you would like the shirt. So guys in the chat, hit me up with a number 1 through 10. 1 through 10. I'm going to pick that number, and I will raffle it off to someone in the Flick Chat. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? You guys are getting in at the last second. I like it. We got up to 21 now. I see an 8. I see 3 8s. So let's go with 8. We'll go with 8 here. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So the winner of tonight's shirt is going to be Jimmy the Jet. Jimmy the Jet. Make sure you message me on Flick Chat. You have won our Just End the Suffering shirt, or a different shirt of your choosing if you don't want that one. But make sure you hit me up on that. I'll get your information, get your shipping info, and I'll send you a shirt. Guys, that's going to be it for me tonight. I'll be live tomorrow with Green Bean and O'Leary, and I should potentially be having Joe Blewett. He was talking about possibly coming on from 8 to 10. Sorry, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So we'll see you there. Guys, one more thing. Down in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see MyBookieAG, promo code JT. If you want to help support the channel, and you want to make a little bit of money, you want to gamble a little bit on some of the terrible football that we've been seeing, if you make a deposit with MyBookie and you use promo code JT, they will match your offer up to $1,000. Win some money with me. Have some fun. MyBookieAG. Promo code JT. But guys, that is going to be it for me tonight. I'll be back here tomorrow. This is Jets Talk. Signing off. JET.